Okay, welcome back, everybody. Mike DiMuccio here, your host. Aligning with Success is the call. It is March, what is it? March 14. March 14.
Day before payday.
Day before payday. We're coming in the middle of the third month of the year already, which means we'll be rounding out the first quarter. How many of you are on track for Club Ki? This will be your Club Ki month. Right on. There's two of you. Anyone else? Okay. Well then, last week, I'm going to pick up a little bit from last week. I don't have a whole agenda here. So this is going to be a little bit of everybody contributing here. What's urgent, what's important. Let's see, last week we talked about transitioning to the B quadrant, the mindset of what that's all about. What else did we talk about last week? That wasn't all we talked about. We talked about the system. We talked about the need. Oh, it was the need to not just promote Niken, not just getting people into Niken, but getting people onto your team. So you need to be able to present why Niken, why now, and why you. How many of you really took that to heart and started looking at, I think I made a mention, please take some time after the call and write down some of the things that make you and what you're offering unique to anybody else who's on this call. So why would somebody want to join your team? What is it about you that makes that offer that much more important, more special? So I want to just maybe take a few minutes for anybody to share what they came up with, if they came up with anything. Otherwise, let's do it right now. So who wants to start? Leo, I'm going to jump in for you, okay? Because I know you probably got a good answer for this already. Because, hey, listen, everybody here on this call, if everybody was to join Niken today, how many of you, just show of hands, would want to be sponsored by Leo? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's huge. And there's a reason, Leo. So what do you think that reason is? Why would people want to join you?
Because I have a lot of leadership, of course.
Experience, you mean? You have a lot of experience?
Experience, leadership, and the system. You see, my system are just, and then just before this Zoom, I have another Zoom with the testimonial. I meet a guy on Facebook. Okay. I invite him last week. He said, I can't, but next week maybe. I said, of course. Do you have email? I sent him to 4 email. And he's come tonight with 5 guests.
No kidding.
Maritel was there. He's invite all the family. He said, I don't know why I'm here, but I know Leo. He's a motivator, a leader. He's a leader. I want to be with him. And I invite my 5 people. And we have a conference call tomorrow for probably sign up, and other leaders emerge in my group. The name is my group is Focus Royal Diamond. And
Focus Royal Diamond.
And when I write Focus Diamond Royal, Royal Diamond, and English is Royal Diamond, French is Diamond Royal. And my system is work. That's why.
Awesome. So, okay. You know what? You need to get a logo for that, Focus Royal Diamond.
Yeah.
That'd be good to get a nice little logo for that team. Good stuff. Okay, so what I heard here is experience. You have a lot of leadership experience, and you have a system. And I'm going to say leadership and coaching.
Yes, motivation. I'm good on that. That's why the guy said tonight. He said, I know Leo is a good motivator.
And a respectful attitude too.
Good.
Really positive and respectful.
Thank you, Maritel.
Okay. Now, hey, if those are those are selling points as far as I'm concerned. Those are some of the best selling points you could possibly have if you're going to be somebody in this business, is that you're somebody that people can learn from because you have excellent experience in leadership, in coaching, in motivation, and you have a system that people can learn and follow that has proven results. So that's why Leo. That's not why somebody else. That's why Leo. And I think it's really important that each of you have your story. Why you? Because it sets in motion the law of attraction. If you don't think of yourself as a worthy sponsor, what are the chances are that you're going to actually sponsor anybody? So it's critical. It's a critical step. That's why we're starting on this again today, because I just really think that it's not something we should avoid, something we should spend some time with and get some answers to. So there's one. Excellent, Leo. Bravo. By the way, Leo was our #1 volume again last month. I know he wasn't published on my Canada scorecard because for some reason, Niken, when they sent me the report, Leo's name wasn't even on it. So I didn't see it. It didn't show up in my list and I didn't think about it until he reminded me. But it's true. He was #1 in PGV last month.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Marito, she's brand new. She signed up 25 January. She already did Power Star. She did Silver this week, and probably Club TI this month.
Fantastic.
Just start.
So
And
Mary, yeah.
work for Gold.
And she's working for Gold?
Yes.
Yes. And by the way, I used to always teach this and I still do. There's a saying, if you look at a karate, if you want to break a board, let's say this is the board and you want to break that board in karate, what they would teach you is don't look at the board. Because if you look at the board, your hand is going to hit the board and it's going to hurt. It's not going to break the board. What you need to do is you need to look with your mind on this side of the board over here, aim here. And then when you go, your hand will go right through the board like the board doesn't even exist. So it's what's beyond the board. You want to break the board, you got to focus on what's beyond the board. Now, looking at that metaphor, which I teach, by the way, in this book, what's beyond silver? It's gold. So your mind's eye is focused on gold, then you break through silver as a consequence. But if you're focused on silver, go beyond silver in your mind's eye, then you go through silver as a consequence. And the thing about silver, it's you could do silver on your own volume, but gold you can't. Gold, you need help. So gold focuses you on helping to assemble a team, focuses you on the team. The team creates the volume and you go silver. So, but if you were just focused on volume, that's not going to bring you a team. So focusing on bringing a team creates volume and you achieve the rank of silver in Club KI anyway. Yes, Madeline.
In Team Diamond meeting in Maui in 1999 with Bob Proctor with 500. There's my board.
How about that?
On the front, I had where I needed to hit it. On the back is what I needed to break through, what you just said. So I have that and I keep that here. So even though it's that many years later, I think you should interview Marie next. But when you're done, I have my hand up and I would like to.
Well, let's go to you and then I'll go to Marie Claude.
Okay. And so what I had on the back of the board then wasn't the gold of Royal Diamond, but rather was the inner peace, the freedom, and feeling loved. Because at that point of time was my ex-husband hadn't moved out of the house yet. So that's what I wanted to break through. And so, but never forgot the freedom. And so today, and I hope this young man will join me. I'm not sure he was going to exercise when he left here, but I went to Fifth Third Bank And who's there but this young 25-year-old? So as I shared before, I speak to anybody and start asking the questions. And he is a very interesting young man. And he came here after work, had the wellness home tour, had the product experiences, and took home several items with him. And so my story of why he should join Madeline. So he's 25 and I'll be 75 this summer. So what I said was, as I have a wellness center that has a historical tour, and that doesn't need to be brought up now, but I pointed out, this is where we were. This is a research and development company that is 47 years old. So he's in an undergraduate business degree, and his next degree is marketing on international cyberspace security. His father is an Arab, a Muslim, and the mother is from Venezuela, and he's trilingual. He speaks Spanish, Arabic, and English. He was born here, so he's the most fluid in English. And so it was absolutely perfect. And so I positioned that I do have 24 years of experience. And so on my tour, I have all the trips that I won and all the other awards and everything are down in one corner. All of those things are hanging down there. And that I invited him tonight. He took home, was going to exercise from here, and he has a son that he was going to visit as well, a young son. And anyway, so I gave why me, why now, why Niken now. So I gave the business cycles, and I was putting it all in the terminology from my MBA. He saw the credentials and he was impressed with that. He was going to go to Weatherhead, and business cycles in business. So I was on the first growth curve. And then there was a dip for many reasons. Happy to explain that at another time. And maybe he might want to write that as a paper for one of his marketing finance classes. So that was the way of creating interest. Why me? Why would he want to join somebody 50 years older than him? And that this next wave, perfect timing, less than 1% market share in North America, a 24-year tenured experienced person can introduce to the Crossline community like tonight. And so he has all the links to look at and so forth. And he was blown away with everything. He personally is interested in nutrition and exercise and making a difference in the world, because he's very much discriminated against being an Arab at this point in time. At 25 years of age, he said that it's been upsetting to him, and he couldn't believe how the humans being more peace and the 5 pillars of wellness, that he said he could see my heart through my eyes. And I said, well, that's what I thought about him as well, or I wouldn't have carried on the conversation. So he came here directly after work and was here from about 5:20 until we both had to leave. I had another church meeting I had to go to. 7:45 he left, and so did I. So I'm going to wrap you up. That's the why me. Okay, I'm done. That's the why. I'm going to just wrap you up in what I heard. Okay.
Here's what I heard. I heard one of the things that you were able to do was present Niken in terms of its timing and where we are positioned today for the next wave, and where your story fits into this is with your experience, your success story and many successes that you've had, your connection to the global community, and the fact that you have such a transparency about you makes you a very strong partner.
Was because when I was at the bank, I was frozen out or whatever. And, with Fifth Third, you had to go in and talk to somebody, which I was upset about, how to get through the drive-through, but came home with this. And so he helped me so much with the technology. And I said, that was the other thing I said when we were still at the bank office. This was the reason that in the dip, part of the dip was that we weren't visionary enough to be ready for what has happened for the digital age for global expansion. And I showed that first flag from Japan, 1998, with 18 countries. I have that downstairs. And so where we are now and where it's going to go with that new little phone app as all these reopen. And I mean, his eyes, it was quite interested in hearing all of that. And I kept saying, now, am I saying too much? Because of course I always get that feedback, too much, too soon, overload. No, and he had very good questions because he was able to relate to it. And I got that information.
People
Yes.
want to be at the beginning of something special, at the beginning of something big. What you're able to show him is that he's exactly that, but it's fortified by years of experience. That what you have is something new, something big, but it's also something proven, which is extremely unique. So Madeline, I just wanted to say that's why Nikan, but why you specifically, why you? You're looking at your experience here, your time here as experience, as wisdom, backed by success, and connected to the community. You're part of the global community. People know who you are. You know who they are. And that's important for somebody you're bringing into the community to make those connections. So use that as, I'm looking at that and saying, there it is. There's Madeline's.
And why now?
Madeline?
And why now too?
No, we have that, but I'm just focusing on the why you part today.
Thank you.
Paul Gabius. Thanks, Madeline. Why Paul Gabius?
Well, I think I said last time, because of the 5 pillars of health and my experience with products and business. But my concern is, yes, people should use 3-way calls and 3-way systems. But it seems to me that my job at the very, very beginning and to continue is to help them develop their why enough so that they have the courage to start talking with other people. Because if I can, present them with royal diamonds, platinums, golds, but if it doesn't start, something doesn't spark right there with them, they just won't feel that they have the experience to measure up. And we've got to get people like passionate right away about something in them.
Okay, I agree totally, Paul. So would you say then why Paul is to motivate you that I'm going to be able to help you, or to coach you and motivate you through the terror barrier?
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah.
Because if you're not hitting the terror barrier, then you're not trying, you're not doing this.
Yeah.
You've done nothing. Because if you're not hitting the terror barrier, that's a sure sign that the person's not actually doing anything. The terror barrier is something that people hit almost immediately when they venture out into this new territory here. So that's a really important one, Paul. Boy, that's a big one. If you put it in those words, I'm here to coach you and motivate you through the terror barrier. Whew. You're telling that person right up front, yeah, it's inevitable, but you've got somebody here who's going to help you through it. That's important, because I'll tell you, that's a big thing for people who are starting out maybe for the first time as an employee, trying to become a self-employed person in Nikan. So huge. I wanted to get to, thank you for that. I wanted to get to Marie-Claude. So tell me, why should someone join you?
I would say from a passion for life and health. I really like to, as a nurse, I worked many years with people who were not really into their, taking care of themselves and embodied health, really. And my goal was to empower people to make a difference in learning. And so I was teaching very much. So I would say, for my skill of maybe teaching or not teaching, I would say more about sharing my knowledges. I really like to go get information. Everything I suggest, I would try on me first. I always say to people, don't believe me, just watch and just, try it on yourself and see what it does to you, and then, you know, make yourself an opinion about products, or you make your own opinion. So I really like people to turn towards themselves and have them think and take the information in, and for them to, I need everything to make sense for them. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, so it's not about teaching, but it's about accompagner. How do you say
Yeah,
it?
yeah, no, I'm with
Being a
you.
product of the product, to be a
No,
product
no,
of the
that, I don't
product.
think that's where she's at. If I may,
But-
this is what I heard.
Yeah,
Your passion for life and health has made you an incredible resource of knowledge.
yes,
And you want to help that person through coaching them to become self-empowered.
thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to say. That's exactly it. And I'm so thirsty about it. I was like very young and reading and listening and trying, experiment. I had so many experiences, good and bad, but it made me what I am. And I've always kept learning and learning and teaching in the beginning, maybe to the wrong people, but I was practicing. But now I'm at a point in my life at 50 years old, I'm 51, and I'm like, I'm just ready to go help people. Instead of being a nurse, I want to be a coach now. That's different. Instead
Yeah.
of taking care of people, I want people to learn to take care of themselves.
Beautiful.
And I'm a good team worker too. I really love to work with people and share with people and learn and share with
That's a
them.
great point too. And you are a great team worker.
Yeah.
So does that help you construct an identity for the value that you add here?
Of course.
Okay. I think it's super important. This exercise is really important because if we don't see the value that we ourselves are bringing, then we're not going to know our place. We're not going to know how to fit in. We're not going to know the value that we're bringing to somebody's business. And that makes us less important. So it's important to have that awareness so that we can insert ourselves in our business. We can be more present in our business, and we can be more supportive of our purpose and help people. Cool. Really, really good. Who wants to go next? Come on.
I will,
You can't be
Michael.
just spectators all the time. You got to jump in here. Lynn.
Yes, I will. I consider myself at this age experienced because of time in life and requirements. But where my value is really having a genuine interest to listen to the other person and be able to not just put myself in their shoes, to hear and understand what they need so that I am able to direct or connect them in the right direction so that they can take the right road for themselves. So that's where I truly believe the life has given me opportunity to be able to listen and hear what they need.
Okay. So let me just finish writing what I was writing. Okay. So as a sponsor, the value you bring is your genuine interest has given you an empathy, a great empathy that makes it possible for you to better understand the individual, to better assist and guide them in their journey.
Correct.
So that makes you a coach. That by definition is what a coach is. A coach is somebody who doesn't just tell you what to do. They have to understand who you are, where you're at, and be able to provide guidance that best suits that individual and their needs. So combine that with your years of experience in NICAN, and you are a coach.
I never considered it in exactly those words, but I understand where my role clearly would bring value to that individual. Okay.
Huge. You know, most people don't even know what they want, let alone
That's
being
true.
guided towards it. So you need somebody to listen that can help them assess what's important to them and then guide them in the choices that they're making to start living that experience. So what else would you call that? You know, I know one of the first things that you would do if you were being coached by Bob Proctor, the very first thing he would ask you, and he wouldn't be finished with you for hours with one question. This one question will be hours in the making. He's going
What
to
do you
ask
want?
you, what?
What do you want?
See, you know the question.
Yeah,
So unless a person can tell you even what they want, how are you going to coach or guide them? So yeah, Lynn,
exactly.
that's exactly what you bring to the table, because it's not enough to just have the Nikken business, the timing, why it's a good time for that person. So many people get started, but they never finish. They get
True.
started, but they never get past go, or they never get past executive, or they never get past silver. Why? Maybe they just didn't have the proper coaching. Maybe somebody wasn't there to help guide them when they got stuck because they weren't paying attention, they weren't listening. How important is that role in helping somebody achieve?
Crucial.
Absolutely critical. How many
Sure,
people? Yeah, I think this is so important to recognize your role here, because now you have value to offer, which will give you the courage to start offering it. All right, thanks for that, then. Who else? Who's thought this through and has something in their own words? Anyone? Yoko, I see your finger up. Okay, and then we'll go to Susan next.
Okay, I started, okay? So I'm a public and private corporate America mentor that is now now coaching team building in, I don't know.
Run that by me again, the first part.
Okay, I'm introducing who I am. I am
No, I want you to answer the question. Yoko, why should I partner with you and not Madeline or Leo? Why you?
Okay, then I gotta redo this thing because I introduced myself with that, where I've come from and what I'm doing now, which is team building. And then that would be what.
Okay, but
my
that
why.
experience where you come from,
Yeah,
write that out in the form of because of your background. This is
Okay.
your background is involved this. And
right.
how does that matter here? You want to be able to transition that to where it matters here now.
Okay,
How can you, what would make you a great partner in Nikken? That's what we're trying to address here.
agreed.
Okay.
As a mentor and a coach within this industry. Okay, I got it. All right,
Yes, yeah. What's the
Yes.
strengths that you bring with you?
right. Okay,
Susan,
thank you.
Susan? You need to unmute. Susan Franz, I see your hand up and I can't hear you.
It's possible that the kids might still be making noise in the background. Susan, are you able to unmute?
Okay,
Yeah,
she's
she
stuck.
has. Yeah, well.
Well, Susan, when you get unstuck, we'll be happy to hear what you have to say.
Thanks.
Anyone
Thanks.
else? Anyone else like to go next? Who'd like to go next? Come on, who's next? Okay, Susan just said, hold 1 second, Renee. It's
Sure.
not coming off of mute. That's weird. It's not coming off of mute. She's
Are
not
you
able
able
to.
to? Can you unmute it, Mike, on your
No,
end?
I can't.
No?
I can just send her ask to unmute, but that's about all. So you keep trying, Susan. Let's get to Renee. I'll keep watching, Susan. Go ahead, Renee.
Listening to all this made me brought up a memory from many years ago when I was being interviewed for a job. And the man asked me, why should I hire you?
Yeah.
And I was able to give an answer at that time because it was going to be in sales. I know how to get individuals to spend money because they're going to, you know, it was for a t-shirt shop on Hawaii to come in and spend money. And I got the job. He says, you're hired. That's what I wanted to hear. And my very first day on the job, we had a record sales day. And I think it was because I put into practice what I had told him. Well, now I'm thinking about this on the other end, you know, this is many, many years later. Ron and I have been learning so much about how to do Nikken. We've had our own bricks and mortar store. We've had, you know, being our own business people, not, you know, before Nikken and everything. And it's like, I've got to remember, okay, we have all this experience from both ends of the spectrum. Now let's do it. How can I help you get what you want?
So, okay, so and then I'm glad you've got it sorted out. Now just give it to me in a statement. Mike, the reason why I would be a great sponsor for you is
I'm going to be able to help coach you to be able to get what you want out of life using the products and the solutions that we have to offer.
now the way you just said that was very confident. It wasn't a question. There was no question tone in your voice, that would be terrible. Because if you're saying, I would be able to help you in your business, that's not an answer. But the way you just said it is coming from, because you know that you've got that background, because you have that background to leverage. And this is the thing. You have that. It's not something you have to make up. It's already something you own. And so if you can embody it here and now as a Nikken sponsor, as a Nikken coach, as a Nikken mentor, how more capable are you going to be to really work with somebody and to be able to offer that to somebody? And therefore, now that you connect the dots with that, how more likely are you going to have those sales or have that person join you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's do one more or two. Who wants to go next? Thanks for that. Susan's back. All right, Susan, perfect. She can unmute.
Can you hear
All
me?
right, let's hear from you, Susan.
Okay. It made me go out. I think I'm on my phone tonight because we have a bunch of stuff going on. So it thinks it's connected to the car, I think. So I think that, what I tried to do to make people have that connection is to just try and tell how I've seen things work. I first started probably back in, I'm going to say maybe like 2009 or something, when my now 16-year-old was about 3. He was shaken by his dad and ended up not talking until he was about 4.5, things like that. And I think that a lot of the products were why he is fully functioning today. Went from being nothing to now he's a 16-year-old 10th grader with straight A's. And then ended up that I had to leave, and I just came back over the last year or so, try to get out of that situation and things like that. But I have younger children now, and my 6-year-old ended up in the hospital just after Christmas, and they believe that he had a cold that ended up going into his joints, and he ended up having a septic hip, which he had surgery on. And it never went away, wasn't going away. And they said, well, if we hit 6 weeks of pain, we have to diagnose him with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So I was working with Madeline, and we, are pumping him full of water, and I got a cocoon for him and literally wrapping him up like around him at night. And then today he went to the follow-up the 6-week follow-up, and their x-rays, the x-rays show no signs of swelling in his joints anymore, and the blood work shows nothing elevated. And that's the only change that we've been making, is the cocoon and the water. It's the only things I've added in so far.
Michael, she has 9 children together, 3 little ones, 4 older ones that are hers, and 2 stepchildren in between. She teaches special ed, she homeschools these little ones, and she doesn't miss being on here. She's amazing. So she has a strong why.
Okay,
of why
Susan, I'm going to
people-
come back to this and rephrase. I just want to mention something
Okay.
about that cocoon. So most of you know, I went through like a 3-week battle in January trying to recoup from whatever it was I was dealing with. And oh my God, that cocoon that I had sitting in my closet, untouched, in the bag with the twist tie, untouched. I just thought, you know what the hell? So I brought it down, put it on the sofa, wrapped myself in it, and by golly, I haven't stopped. That thing sits on my sofa. It's so fantastic. The second you get into it and wrap yourself up, oh my God, it feels like a big hug. So yeah, I'm totally with you. Wait, so Susan, come back. I need to hear you
Okay.
tell me in your words, Susan,
Mhm.
why, Susan, would you be a good sponsor for me or anybody else? Why would you make a great sponsor? We already know why Nikan. We already know why now.
Okay.
We know the products are great, but why you, Susan? Why would I join your team?
Because I have the same experiences that a lot of other people have. And I'm trying to do exactly what they're trying to do. And we're just trying to make things better for people and help people and not have to rely on a lot of different, Western type medicine things.
Okay. I need it to be something that gives me more confidence in you,
Okay.
not general. You're doing what everybody else is doing. That means I should just sponsor somebody. Anybody can sponsor me. I want to know why you. Why you? Not Leo LeMay, not Madeline Zaworski. Why you, Susan Franz? Why should I join your team? Why should I join you? Why would you make a good partner?
Because I am probably mostly would connect with mothers and working to
I'm not a
better
mother.
our own
I'm a
children.
man.
Okay. To better your children.
Pardon me?
To be able to better our children.
Our children or my children?
Your children.
How do you know my children are important to me?
You've talked about them on here before.
Okay, it sounds a little bit like you're just sort of grasping at straws. This is
Okay.
where, Susan, you really need to spend some time with this,
Mhm.
because this is the key to you being a great sponsor. This
Okay.
is you owning it. I, Susan Franz, am a great sponsor, Mike, because
Mhm.
tell me why. Tell me why are you a great sponsor? What can you do for me that makes you a better sponsor or as good a sponsor as anybody else on this call?
Okay.
That's where you got to strike home. So
Okay.
it's really taking a look at, what do you offer the person who joins your team that somebody else isn't already offering,
Okay.
or that at the very least you could offer as much?
Mhm.
Okay, so one of the things that has come up quite a bit, a lot of people here are talking about their life experiences previous to Nikan, some with Nikan, how those experiences have given them knowledge, wisdom, the ability to help guide somebody to figure out what it is that they want and to help them achieve it. Those are really powerful statements, because what I don't have if I'm joining Nikan is I have a company that's available to me and everybody else. I have a product line that's available to me and everybody else. I have the same compensation plan that's available to me and everybody else. What is it that I don't have necessarily? Is the background, is the knowledge, is the education of how to use these tools and make them work for me. That's what I don't have. So I'm either going to flounder and try and make it work and maybe end up quitting because I can't figure it out, or somebody's going to help me make the right steps because they know what those steps ought to be. They have a plan, they have a system, they have experience. That's what I'm looking for in a partner. So figure out what part of your life has given you those types of experiences that make you somebody solid to partner with. Put those in words, a sentence or two. Because when you are solid and confident in your ability to be a sponsor, it's when you're going to start sponsoring. It's when you're going to be at ease with that idea. Okay, one more. Last one. Who wants to be last? Come on. There's a few of you on the call that haven't talked yet.
Hey, Mike, this is Jeannie Zedan.
Hey, Jeannie. All right. Lay it on me, Jeannie.
Calling me out. So this is what I wrote. I have 30 years experience in training my customers how to best use kitchen gadgets and how that will improve their life by saving time in the kitchen and having fun in the process. So what I can offer you is ways to save time and energy by increasing your income in a fun way. I don't know how to go from here. With understanding what needs to be done, and I can help you along the way. Something like that.
Okay, that's excellent. That's okay. So 30 years experience in sales and marketing taught you how to save time and energy, as well create income in a fun way, grow your income in a fun way. That's what you bring to the table that can help somebody and guide somebody. Now tell me something. Who wouldn't want that? Who would not want somebody who can save them time and energy and help increase their income in a fun way? Tell me, who on this call wouldn't want that? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Own it. This has got to be part of your pitch. It's got to be one of the things that you say about yourself that makes you an excellent sponsor. And it gives confidence in the person you're talking to, who, especially if it's somebody who's never been in network marketing, lacks confidence.
Right.
If they've done any homework at all, they're going to come up against the network marketing objection. And so you should know they're thinking it, even if they don't say it. And so when you can come out and say, we've identified why Nika, and we've identified why now, let me tell you why me. And then you throw this in there. How does that make them feel?
Confident.
Yeah. Confident. At a moment when they're not feeling much confidence, and now you help them with some confidence and maybe help them make the decision to get going. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're taking ownership of your role in helping somebody navigate, especially at the beginning stages of this business, is critical. As you take ownership of that, you become self-aware. And self-awareness, or awareness, is consciousness. You are becoming conscious of a state of being. And as you are conscious of that state of being, you then are in harmony with all things in that frequency, which means if you're a confident sponsor, that makes you a great sponsor. That makes you a candidate to sponsor. You attract people to sponsor. It's hand in glove.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, this is phew. I'm really glad we went on to this and just drilled down a little bit more. Paul, you got your hand up, and we'll wrap with you.
Yeah, Mike, when I joined, I had absolutely no confidence in my sponsor, nor his, but they did teach me one thing early. They did teach me that they could connect me to people that I would have confidence in. And I did believe that they knew that. And so that's so powerful when somebody can offer that.
Oh my God, Paul, thank you for that, because for all the people who are on listening to this, and they might be 1 day old in NECAN thinking, what experience do I have? Well, let me just say, first of all, you have experience in life. So what life experiences would give you confidence in being a good coach and partner with somebody, even if it's just somebody that helps keep somebody accountable to their word, to their objective, to their goal. Are you that person? Can I trust you to hold me accountable to my goals? Because that would be something really good to have. If I had a coach who would keep me accountable, that's something you could do. And you don't have to have NECAN experience to do that. But then to have what Paul just added, to know that you know somebody, that you know some people in NECAN who have the goods, who have the knowledge and the experience in NECAN that you can connect them to, that's huge. That may be the biggest asset you bring to the table. So now, if that's you listening to this, your brand spanking new, you better get to know your upline. You better get to know some people, lickety split, who you know, they know you, so that you can make that claim. I know some people, and I can put you in touch with those people. So take it upon yourself to pick up the phone, text, whatever you got to do, get to know who is on your team, in your upline, who's making things happen, and start building a relationship with that person. Believe me, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who sit there wondering, is anybody going to call? You guys think I'm 24/7 on the phone. I'm not. Most people make the assumption I'm too busy, so they don't call. That's the wrong assumption. If you want to be busy, if you want to be successful, don't care if somebody's too busy. Pick up the phone and call them. So I hope you take that to heart and make it a point of being a connector. Learning how to be a good connector means connecting with people, especially those who actually have some skin in the game. They have a vested interest in your success. You know, we earn 6% on the business you create, not the business you don't create. There's no 6% there. So people in your upline definitely want to know who you are. They definitely want to work with you. But there's an old saying in this business, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So be squeaky, start squeaking. It's not a bad thing in this business. It's actually a good thing. I know in the world that you come from, the other world, you know, if you were the squeaky wheel, you know, you might be the one that's out the door next, but not here, not here. It's the ones who are quiet that are usually out the door next. It's the squeaky wheels we know are in the game. So be the
Like,
squeaky wheel.
This was so powerful, this kind of role playing, but the most powerful line that you gave tonight, question, was, why would you want to sponsor me, Mike DiMuccio? So that's kind of that chicken list that you often talk about. You recruited up, you were 27 years old at the time. And so that helps us to say confidently, that was the difference in Renee tonight, when Renee said confidently, so confidently with you, and that's who she was saying it to. So thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you. And everyone, thanks for jumping in and giving us your version. This was super, super helpful. Please share this video widespread. I think it's an important one. Have a great night, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank Susan for being so brave. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.